We're back with predictions, and this time it's the third tier, League One. Here we go.
No, Theo, that shirt. Happy dad. I'm the happy dad.
We're going to go from 24th to 1st. Here's our predictions. Start with your team.
Well, I'll start with the like target, Theo. 11,423.
If we can hit that, then I'll buy everyone a Snickers. Who's in 24th?
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, but it's Exeter City of Devon, Theo. They were promoted last season in second place. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to the Devon derby against Plymouth Argyle. But Exeter, they've not made a lot of signings, have they?
My 24th place, and I'll speak about Exeter very soon, maybe for bad reasons. My 24th is Morecambe.
Ooh.
Morecambe have a player called Stockton who scored 23 goals last season, and they have nothing else. I don't think he's going to do it 2 years in a row. I think he's a one-season wonder. And overall, it would just put a smile on everybody's face if Morecambe go down. 42% of their squad has changed. They brought a lot of new players in. I'm not sure how they're going to cope.
23rd place is Fleetwood Town of Lancashire, Theo. Last season they were 20th. They escaped on goal difference. But I'm sorry, Scott Brown, manager. I don't think you've got enough in the tank to stay up.
We're going to go different again. My 23rd was your 24th, Exeter City. They've made no signings. 20 minutes after filming, Exeter City go and announce a signing. No investment. I'm sorry, it's hard for me to say you're going to stay up. I'm looking forward to watching Giovanni Brown though. 19 contributions up top last season. Let's see if he can do it in League One.
22nd place, I'm going for Cambridge United, who were 14th last season. And mainly because of Sam Smith and Joe Ironside last season getting 29 goals between them. But can they keep it up?
Cambridge is interesting, but my 22nd was your 23rd. Fleetwood Town. We're starting to agree a little bit here. The new manager, Scott Brown, hasn't got the experience as a manager, but he does as a player, especially in Scotland. He is a Celtic hero, and I'm sure a lot of their fans will be watching League One just to see how he copes. But I think he's going down. He's made 6 signings, one of which I can speak about, Josh Earl, ex-Bolton fullback. I liked him. I just don't think there's enough in the tank with the new promoted teams to compete with.
21st place and the final relegation spot. Theo, I agree with you, Morecambe. And I say this as a Lancastrian.
Yep.
Cole Stockton, 27 contributions last season. Can he do it again? I'm not sure. I just think there's not enough in the tank. They were 2 points off relegation last season. I'm sorry, Morecambe.
My 21st team is Accrington Stanley. Who are they? Well,
hey, that's my line.
They're the team who seem to figure out a way of surviving every single year, but not this time. Ross Sykes, their centre-back, who smashed it last year, went to a Belgian side. They've also lost their ruthless goal-scorer in Colby Bishop.
Yeah.
I hated facing him as a Bolton fan. We're at those games. He is a real shithouse. I'm sorry, but they're going down without them.
But Theo, they were 12th last season. You think they're going to drop, 8 or 9 places?
If you continue to lose your best players, it becomes very hard to survive in this league.
My 20th place, Theo, is Accrington Stanley.
They're staying up.
Who are they? Just staying up. Now, last season they conceded 80 goals. That's too many. Defensively, they need to tighten up. And John Coleman is the gaffer, Theo. He's been there 8 years. Oldest manager in the league.
I've gone for Cheltenham to survive in 20th place. And the reason being, they've kept Alfie May.
Yes.
23 goals last year, and with a goal scorer like that, and their manager last year, Michael Duff, has gone to Barnsley. So their new head coach they've recruited is Wade Elliott. I'm unsure how they're going to do. They've made 9 new signings. They've got Alfie May, who stayed, and they've lost their captain, William Boyle, to Huddersfield. So it's all a bit up in the air. So I think they will survive, but it's not going to be the most prolific ever season.
Burton Albion in 19th place for me, Theo. They were 16th last season. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank is still in charge.
Yep.
I think there's enough in the tank to stay up.
For my 19th, I've gone with Cambridge United, who you put in a relegation spot.
I did.
You're crazy.
You're not that far off it.
No, survival. That's a massive difference. Staying up in this league. I can't imagine Cambridge being in League 2. Kept a lot of their squad last year, which is a big difference to their competition. Yes, they've lost Wes Houlihan, but they've become less reliant on him. You can see that his stats came off a little bit. One of their key players, the fullback Jack Iredale, has gone to Bolton Wanderers, and that is a massive plus for us. But overall, I think Cambridge have enough with the squad already to survive.
And my 18th place, Theo, is Cheltenham Town. Now, that was the place to go for goals last season. 146 goals for and against. And you've already talked about Alfie May, haven't you? 23 of those.
I know, unbelievable. And that's why I put them to survive, just.
Yes.
You've mentioned them, they're staying up, no problem.
Just, I wouldn't say no problem. This is going to be really tight down at the bottom.
Okay, my 18th, I'm going with Forest Green Rovers. I know you haven't mentioned them yet.
Harsh.
Their title-winning manager, Rob Edwards, left. He went to Watford, and it was at a very difficult time that Forest Green Rovers even tweeted saying, "We don't know why this has happened, he's barely spoken to us about it." They've lost a lot of their best players. Kane Wilson, who provided 13 assists from right wing back position. Ebu Adams to Cardiff, the central midfielder. Nicky Adams, the other wing-back, who got loads of assists last year. It's looking bleak. Do they have a weaker team, even though they've gone up a league?
Theo, just admit it, you're prejudiced against vegetarians. You love your meat too much. In 17th place, Port Vale. Now, last season it tasted like promotion, didn't it, Theo? And one of their players is Jamie Proctor. I don't know if you remember him. He's played for 14 clubs. He scored 1 goal, got 1 assist in 29 games for Bolton. But last season, his best season ever.
I'm excited to see how he'll do in League One. It's a step above. Look, I'm going to go straight to it. I've not mentioned Port Vale yet, but I will mention, in 17th position, Burton Albion. I've been uninspired overall by some of the signings they've made. Adebayo up top will definitely add some goals. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank had a pretty slow end to the season, and he'll be hoping, with the mix-up of players, that they'll not only survive, but maybe even kick on somewhere mid-table.
Now on to 16th place, and I've gone with Bristol Rovers, who were also promoted last season. And Joey Barton, 13 points in the last 5 games for his lads. Will it be another cigar for him?
Well, he'll definitely be kicking off. When we play them, it's going to be a fiery encounter.
Oh, it is.
You know what? I
respect Joey Barton.
This is why I'm looking forward to League One. Scott Brown versus Joey Barton.
No way.
Fleetwood versus Bristol Rovers. That's got to be on Sky TV. There's got to be 2 cameras aimed at the managers, because it might turn into war on the sidelines.
You know what? I respect Joey Barton.
Yeah.
We almost got him as a guest on our predictions.
No way.
We did. And when he stops being a manager, if that happens, we'll get him on.
Let's get him on now. My 16th place, and I know you haven't mentioned them yet, it's Lincoln City.
Ooh.
I'm surprised you haven't put them further down.
Wow.
Because they lost 42% of their squad last year. Liam Bridcut, their captain, and ex-Bolton, by the way, wonderful midfielder, box to box, he's gone. Theo Archibald got loads of contributions from the wing, gone. So Lincoln are in a very difficult position. I think I even could have put them further down the table, but I think they will survive. They've got enough.
And now for 15th place, and for me it's Shrewsbury Town, Theo. Now, last season, only 98 goals at Shrewsbury games, so it was almost a 1-1 draw every week. They're a team who can make it very difficult for you. 18th place last season. I think they'll climb a bit.
For my 15th position, it's a team that were promoted via playoffs from League 2. And I think they'll be happily safe. It's the team from the Midlands, Port Vale.
Well, a team from Stoke there. Is that the Midlands?
Well, if you say Stoke,
It's
that's
the
their derby.
Potteries.
They're going to be angry.
I know, you call it the Potteries.
I'm going to get roasted, whatever I say here. I think it's going to be the dark horse of the season. They are going to surprise everybody. They kept their whole squad. Their retention was nearly 100% from the team they had last year. They also brought back a player which they had for the first half of the season, Lewis Cass. And the way they tweeted, they said, form is temporary, Cass is permanent. And he's signing a permanent contract. He used to be on loan with them. That is the cleverest. The admin of Port Vale, I want you to get a pay rise. If you know the admin of Port Vale, send him this clip.
In 14th place, I've gone for Forest Green Rovers, Theo, the vegan club, the eco club, and they won the league, didn't they, last season? Got their promotion. I think they'll be mid-table. I think it's a very well-run club. I think there'll be some decent players come through the door. I don't think they'll be in a relegation scrap.
It's very interesting. So I picked another Rovers for my 14th place. It's Bristol Rovers. Ooh. And actually, I'm excited to see them because they were promoted automatically via 3rd place. Because in League 2, 4 teams come up, as we know. 4 teams get relegated from League 1. Anthony Evans had 22 contributions last year. I'm excited to see what he could do. John Marquis, who's come in, their centre-backs, by the way, 17 and 20 years old.
Wow.
I think their full-backs are like 23 and 20. It's a young defence. It's a big ask for them to stay this mid-table, this high up in the table. But I'm really excited by it. So Bristol Rovers, best of luck.
In 13th place, I've gone for Charlton Athletic. Now, they were 13th last season. I wasn't impressed by them, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But they've gone and signed Sessegnon. Did you know that?
Stephen Sessegnon.
Yeah,
Twitter,
yeah.
Ryan.
Yeah.
You're trying to mug people off here.
Yeah, but he's a good player.
Angry Londoners that you put Charlton that far down.
Mid-table thing. So you disagree with my assessment?
All I'm saying is, I'm not talking about Charlton yet. I am going to be talking about Shrewsbury.
Okay.
Because you mentioned them quite low down, but they've made some incredible signings for them. Championship level. Che Dunkley from Sheffield Wednesday. Bayliss from Preston. Da Costa from Coventry, centre-back. I'm excited to see when you put them all together. If Daniel Udo starts scoring up top, they will be happily in 13th position.
12th place, I've gone for Lincoln City, Theo. But that was before I realised that Liam Bridcut has left, which is surprising me. Now, last season, Lincoln, the Imps, didn't do as well as expected.
Well, they've lost nearly half their team.
They have, yes.
So I don't know how you think they're going to step up from last season.
Maybe I've got this wrong, but I'll stick with it.
I'm going for Plymouth. Now, I know what you're thinking. 3 points away from playoffs last season. I know. 3 points.
Pieface is going to roast you.
And you know what? In the last 5 games of their season, they could have done with Pieface up top. They probably would have scored more goals. 1 goal in the last 5 games. They blew playoffs. and Pieface was fuming. They made a couple good signings. Mikael Miller from Rotherham scored a few, but nothing outstanding last season in League One. I think they'll drop a few places because this league is getting a little bit more competitive with the bigger teams from the Championship coming down. 12th position. I want to go to the Devon Derby next season.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be cool.
100%. And in 11th place, I've gone for Danny Cowley's Portsmouth, Theo. Now, the bookies disagree. The bookies think they're going to be higher. I don't know. I think that's based upon the fact that people think they're still a big team.
In my 11th, I've gone with Charlton. The manager, Johnny Jackson, left at the end of last season, and they hired Ben Garner, their new boss, who left Swindon Town after taking them to the playoffs in League Two. So it's quite an inspiring manager. 43% of the starters last season have gone. They have not retained many players, and with a new manager comes new signings. Jack Payne from Swindon, who got 13 goals and 5 assists in League Two last year, he could probably kick on. It's a brand new revolution in the red side of London, so it's really hard to predict.
In 10th place, I've gone for Oxford United, Theo, and last season they were the joint highest scorers with 82 goals, and most of those goals came from Matty Taylor with 20 and Cameron Brannigan with 14.
I'm surprised you haven't put Oxford United in potentially at a playoff spot. My 10th position is Wycombe Wanderers. Wow. Have you got them in a playoff spot? Because they got to the playoffs last year.
We'll find out soon, Theo. A little bit harsh, though.
It is harsh. They kept most of their squad from last year. They made a playoff final. They lost Akinfenwa, footballing god, but they gave Sam Vokes a new deal, and that's most important. Ryan Tafazoli, his vlog's going to be class. What a leader he is, by the way. I'm excited to see if he can maybe help the team kick on for a playoff spot. I could be wrong with this one.
And in 9th place, over to Yorkshire, it is Barnsley, Theo.
What?
Relegated in 24th place last season. Only 6 wins, only 33 goals. You're going to roast me, aren't you?
No, I'm not going to roast you. You've copied my notes. Barnsley in 9th.
Oh, are we going to do a... Yeah,
I was
thought
going
you were going to do a Paddy.
You were going to do the Paddy Pimble.
No.
James Norwood's a good signing. I think they're not going to make playoffs because it's a massive team change around.
Yeah.
34% of their starters last year are gone, including 4 very creative players, Vita, Gomez, Quina and Bassi, who's gone back to France.
What about the psychology of finishing rock bottom, Theo? And remember, over a year ago, Barnsley nearly got to the Premiership.
Well, if they can hold on to a few of their Championship players like Hellick, they've not gone yet. They've got good quality players. It's not a bad squad overall. I'm just wondering if they've got enough creativity. So they'll miss out on playoffs. Like you said, they're used to losing from finishing rock bottom. We agree.
In 8th place, you've already said them, it's Plymouth Argyle from Devon, Theo. They were 7th last season, but like you said, 3 points in the last 5 games, a really poor finish. But Ryan Hardy, the ex-Rangers guy, the Scottish Youth International, he'll bang in a few
So
goals.
hold on, you roasted me for putting Plymouth in 12th, and you just put them as well outside a playoff spot.
8th?
If you make playoffs, that's a difference. If you make 8th to 12th, doesn't matter. You could be 20th. There's nothing else you're gaining apart from a little bit of cash. My 8th place is Oxford United, where you should have put them.
I put them 10th, didn't I?
Yes, and they've got Brannigan, who's a baller. They held
Yeah.
on to him. And then on the other side, you've got Yannick Wildschut, ex-Bolton. He just come back from somewhere in Israel, and he's going to bang in the goals. I'm telling you, that geezer on his day did it in Wigan in League One. He's got pace, he will create. Oxford United fans, you should be excited. There's a lot of change around in this Oxford United team, but they always seem to do quite well with their gaffer, who seems a very nice guy too. So I'm going to put them in 8th position, and let's move on to our 7th.
Now for the final place outside of the playoffs.
Who is
7th
it?
place is Peterborough, Theo.
No.
Relegated last season, very leaky defence, 87 goals conceded. Do you not agree?
Jack Harriott and Johnson Clark Harris up top, and you think they're staying outside the playoffs? Come off it,
Do you know what, Theo? They're a very young squad. I think 23 years old on average, and I think 46 games is going to be tough.
The team that will miss out on playoffs is Pompey. Have you spoken about Portsmouth
I have
yet?
actually. I put them a bit lower down.
Okay, so we both reckon Portsmouth aren't ending. They finished 10th last year.
Yeah.
And they've added Marlon Pack from Cardiff and Colby Bishop from Accrington Stanley. Now, one thing I can tell you about him is when he played Bolton, he was ruthless. He's not only a goal scorer, but he's a bit of a shithouse as well. Like, he'll rub it into the away fans. And I think that's what Portsmouth need. Their fans were really angry with the way they ended last season. He's the perfect number 9 for their job, which will help them get to 7th, but I think they'll just miss out on playoffs. Unfortunate, guys.
And now we're into the playoff places, and in 6th position is a team who were 9th last season. It is Bolton Wanderers Football Club, founded in 1877, who, by the way, have got great owners, a great manager in Ian Everett, some cracking players like James Trafford, your brother, like Kieran Lee, like Dapo Afolayan. I could go on. Bakayoko's going to get 20 goals. Do you know what? I would take 6th place there. This is a difficult league. A very difficult league.
We've retained most of our squad though, and that's something other clubs can't have. You know, the relationship between the manager and the players, a proper pre-season together, it's something that other clubs can't say they've had. For example, my 6th place is MK Dons. And their squad change round has been ridiculous. Number one, they've sold their goal scorer, the poshest man in football, Scott Twine. Who are they replacing him with? Well, they've signed my mate, Louis Barry from Villa.
Yes.
Do you remember we met him at Box Park? And me and Louis Barry were, you know, just having a drink, having a chill, and now he's in League One against with us. So
you're just a name dropper, you are.
Mate, I know. I'm just naming all my mates. Well, you don't have.
You were hanging out with Edin Dzeko the other day.
I was. We had a few Balkan beverages. But MK Dons have one of the craziest squad change arounds ever. Considering they did really well last year, very unlucky to not get promoted. 37% of their starters last year are no longer in the team. Connor Coventry, Troy Parrott, Scott Twine, they've all moved on. To conclude, it's complete guesswork where Milton Keynes Dons are going to end next season in League One.
And in 5th place, it's the team managed by Gareth Ainsworth, who, by the way, has been a manager for 10 years. What incredible loyalty. I'm talking about Wycombe Wanderers. You can't believe you put them 10th there.
I know.
They've got Sam Vokes.
Yeah, they retained most of their squad and they finished playoffs last year. I may be wrong. Maybe retaining a team and creating a good relationship between all the players is underrated. Because I know they've got a very good manager and I could get this one wrong. But I'm going to roast you back. Because my 5th place, another playoff spot, is going to Peterborough, where they should be, Thogdad. Didn't you put them 7th?
I put them, yes, I did there, but it's not that big a difference. We know they're a good team,
No.
well organised,
Massive,
well run.
Massive difference. Outside playoffs, inside playoffs. It's the same argument at Wycombe. And the reason I think Peterborough will do it. Johnson Clark-Harris, 12 goals in the Championship last year. Not terrible, but he's known for banging them in League One. Sammy Smodics as well. Behind them, they kept most of their squad. Only 19% of their starters last year have gone. The same back three they had in the Championship is the same back three they'll have in League One. And that is key. It's going to gel really nicely. Yeah. They've got good youth as well through Poku and Jay Jones. I think Peterborough will have a successful season.
4th place, I've gone for Milton Keynes Dons, Theo. Okay. 3rd place last season. Gamble. 1 point off automatic promotion. Very tight defensively, very hard to beat.
So the Thogs have kept MK Dons in a playoff spot.
Absolutely.
Another year running, even though 40% of their team has changed. That's a big gamble. My 4th place is a team you put in 6th. Playoff spots again for Bolton Wanderers.
Hey, come on, Bolton.
Look, a lot of people must have clicked on this thinking, oh, they're Bolton fans are going to be biased. They're going to put them first.
No.
But what Bolton do have is a quality side with Ian Evatt, who's now learning the players. He knows them. They're all mates. It's a very good relationship between the squad. We've kept the whole team except Marlon Fossey, Thogdad's favourite player.
Oh, that is such a shame.
If you go off the squad from the second half of the season, which is when we had the January transfer window, the only time you can really look at us, we would have been promoted.
Yeah, I know.
Automatics. No questions asked. One of the best forms in the league. And guess what? That whole team, apart from Fossey, is having a pre-season under Ian Evatt, ready for the new league. So all these relegated teams that are having 50% team change arounds, as much as you hear new transfers and everybody gets gassed, that's all great. But sometimes the best business is doing nothing, and Bolton Wanderers are smashing that. I'm excited to see how we do. I hope we can make it to Wembley in the playoffs, maybe even a first, second finish. Bolton Wanderers, underrated next year. It's going to be a good, fun year.
And in 3rd place, climbing 8 places, it's Ipswich Town, Theo.
Okay.
Kieran McKenna has come from Man United. He's in charge. It's his first full season. Last season they started off poorly, but they only conceded a goal a game. Ipswich will climb.
So you're not putting Ipswich in automatic promotion?
No.
My 3rd place, and it's going to be a real big story. We're going to speak about this one for a while. Derby County. Liam Rosner had to take over as Wayne Rooney, booked a flight to America and never came back.
But you can't blame him, Theo. He had an incredibly difficult job, didn't he? With that 21-point deduction.
What do you think Derby fans think of him? Because he did this incredible story for you, nearly kept them up with several point deductions, but then he just left you in the dark when he wanted to build you back up and get you promoted again. He said all those statements and then he walked.
You don't know what's happening in people's lives, Theo. The pressure on Wayne Rooney last season was incredible.
But they've made some incredibly experienced signings for League One. Connor Hurahan. That guy was in the Premier League just a year and a half ago. Mendes Lang as well, Sheff Wed last year. James Chester. I mean, this guy is a regular Championship centre-back. But there's one transfer I haven't mentioned yet, that I think will do the most damage in that Derby team, and it's Burke Heisen.
Okay.
He has been incredible for Preston of his years in the Championship. Whenever Bolton faced Preston North End, Burke Heisen used to destroy us down the wing. I am very worried to see him in League One. If he's still got it, he's going to be a danger. Derby County fans, you must be delighted. It's a very experienced team. We've got to remember, without the point deductions, that Derby County team last year were happily safe, mid-table in the Championship. So they should be up there.
And now for the runners-up, Theo. I've not mentioned Derby County yet, have I? Because in second place, it's Sheffield Wednesday, Theo. They were fourth last season. They missed out against Sunderland in the playoffs. Now, you've got to look out for Lee Gregory, 17 goals, 5 assists last season.
Okay.
Automatic promotion.
My second place, and this works out my first place too, it's Ipswich Town in second.
Yeah.
Therefore, you can imagine who the first place is if you work it out quickly with the league table on the screen. But the reason I put Ipswich second is I'm very excited by the business they've done. McKenna, the Man United pedigree manager, he's learned a lot before coming out. And now he's got a full pre-season and a squad which is very dangerous. Freddie Ladapo from Rotherham scored 11 goals. Harness from Portsmouth, another quality player, winger, forward type, another 11 goals. But most importantly, they kept the goalkeeper and the back three the same from last season, so they will gel better than ever. If you bring a new team together, it just won't work.
Yeah.
They are certainly going up.
And finally, the winners of League One next season will be Derby County.
I can't believe you've done this.
Spoken about them, and that 21-point deduction, Theo.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, without that, they'd comfortably be in the Championship.
But let's not also forget that they're missing a lot of their talented creative. Luke Plange, who was Derby, went to Crystal Palace because the loan finished. He's not coming back.
I don't know if I'm going to be right here, because the big problem is the psychology. What's going on behind the scenes? How does that affect the club, the manager, the supporters, the players? I don't know. So I'll either get this very right or very wrong.
But my first place is different to you. It's not Bolton Wanderers, it's Sheffield Wednesday.
Yes.
They were so unlucky last season. They blew it against Sunderland when I thought they were favourites, going home in that second leg to Hillsborough. But they have a great squad and they've retained most of it. Barry Bannon, George Byers, Lee Gregory. These are very experienced players that smashed it last season in League One, who have stayed and will play a key role in getting them to first place, and that's why I predicted it. And by the way, they nicked half of Rotherham's best players. Iqui and Michael Smith. Even though they got promoted and Sheffield Wednesday are a league below them, they transferred in their best players. How does that work? Why would they leave Rotherham to go to Sheffield Wednesday, a league below? Do you understand that?
I don't know, Theo.
That is one of the weirdest things ever, but it helped Sheffield Wednesday. They've probably got the best squad in the league. Congratulations on first place, the Owls, because Doggy Boys predicted it, so it's got to be correct.
But all I can say to finish off is, come on, Bolton Wanderers, do
come
it
on,
for
Bolton.
the lads.
Oh, mate, this top 6 race, I think if we make playoffs, I'll take it right now, like you said. But every team in this league, it's going to be exciting. Even the ones coming up, like Port Vale, Bristol Rovers, Forest. I'm excited to see how they do. Help us get to 1 million subscribers, and we'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.
See ya.